GSC Live Mornings. I'm Pastor Charlie from Good Shepherd Lutheran Church in Rochester, Minnesota. Today is Monday, May 4th, day 52 in our stay-at-home time, but be it together. Thank you. This morning I have my cup of coffee, once again from the Luther mug, the 500-year commemorative mug, celebrating the 500-year anniversary of the Reformation, led by Martin Luther, great theologian, great preacher, great thinker, so on and so forth, the founder of our church. Today I've invited other people to join this rather wide audience. I've invited our current confirmation classes to join us. I and Pastor Carl Eric met with them last night via Zoom. We had a short confirmation class together and invited them to join us this morning, and I said I'd have a message kind of tailored toward them. So my message this morning is a message that I feel is very central to our faith, very central to who we are as a people, central for young people to grab onto as they soon become adults and start making adult decisions, whether it be for families, in their families, or in their workplaces, or in their schooling, but also in the way they make decisions relative to communities and public and our nation when they vote for leaders. Because our leaders are public policy makers, and those policies have a direct impact on how we live life and who we are as a people, who we are as a nation. And we've always got a lot of work to do in that regard. So I'm going to read to you an excerpt of a sermon from another great theologian and writer and speaker, current day. His name is Bishop Michael Curry, the current bishop of the Episcopal Church. You may know him because he's the person who preached at Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding. He's a dynamic man, dynamic speaker. I love to hear him speak. Also love to read his books. I'm going to share with you a passage, part of a sermon that he preached in Taylor, Texas, at the Don Hutto Detention Center. It's about 260 miles north of Laredo, Texas, north of the border. And I share this because I and some other dear friends of mine had a week-long experience at the southern border at El Paso and Las Cruces, where we went to find out for ourselves firsthand what's going on in this crisis at the border. What is truly happening there? During the time there, we were able to meet with about 20 people to hear presentations from individuals who are involved in the situation at the border surrounding asylum seekers as well as immigrants. It was telling, it's frightful, very concerned about the policies that we have as a country that don't seem to align at all with our Christian values and the soul of this country. So I read to you this introduction and then a few lines from Bishop Curry's message that day. Bishop Curry and more than 1,000 Episcopalians gathered to pray and witness at the T. Don Hutto Detention Center on Sunday, July 8th. The detention center holds immigrant women who were captured at the Mexican border, many of them separated from their children. During the prayer gathering, dozens of church members walked closer and closer to the large concrete building and chanted, "We love you, we see you." Several women inside held paper to the windows. Their signs read, "Oren por nosotros," pray for us, and gracias, thank you. Before I share a few thoughts, and they will be just a few, we're all standing here in the sun. And I want to thank all who have made this possible, especially Megan Castilian, Bishop Didi Duncan Probe, and Winnie Varghese. I want to say a special word of thanks to this community, to those who have helped get permits so that we might make our witness of prayer and faith in decency and in good order. And thank you to the mayor and to the mayor pro tem who came to welcome us today. Allow me to begin by saying we do not come in hatred, we do not come in bigotry, we do not come to put anybody down. We come to lift everybody up. We come in love. We come in love because we follow Jesus, and Jesus taught us to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and to love your neighbor as well. Love your liberal neighbor. Love your conservative neighbor. Love your Democrat neighbor. Love your Republican neighbor. Love your independent neighbor. Love your neighbor who you don't like. Love the neighbor you disagree with. Love your Christian neighbor. Love your Muslim neighbor. Love your Jewish neighbor. Love your Palestinian neighbor. Love your Israeli neighbor. Love your refugee neighbor. Love your immigrant neighbor. Love the prison guard who is your neighbor. Love your neighbor. We come in love, and I would submit that the teaching of Jesus to love God and love our neighbor is at the core and the heart of what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. And we must be people who reclaim Christianity in these days from its popular modality, from the way it is often perceived and presented, to a way of Christianity that looks something like Jesus. And Jesus said, love the Lord your God and love your neighbor. So we come in love. That's the core of our faith. That's the heart of it. And we come because we're Christian, and the way of love calls for us to be humanitarian. It calls for us to care for those who have no one to care for them. We also come because we don't believe that a great nation like this one separates children from their families. We come because we believe President Abraham Lincoln, who said this nation was conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all people are created equal. That's all humans. We believe that we must call this nation, America, back to its very soul. We're here because we love this nation. Because if you really love somebody, you don't leave them the way they are. You help them to become their best selves. We are here to save the soul of America. Dear friends, if we are Christ followers, if we feel called to lead the world, we must follow Christ. Love your neighbor. God bless you. And may that inform your lives from this day forward forevermore. Have a good day.